China travels this path to reach Taiwan in addition to using boats and airplanes. The future passage of the strait could utilize the underwater high-speed rail. As early as 1997, when Hong Kong was returned to China, China sought to build a high-speed train between Taiwan and Taiwan. Mainland China is currently linked, just like Hong Kong and Macao are. Imagine being able to take a high-speed rail across the seas from Beijing to Taipei. Only 131 kilometers separate the two sides of the Taiwan Strait in Fujian, China, yet the high-speed rail in China moves at a speed of 350 kilometers/a. Taiwan may be reached in less than 20 minutes by high-speed train. Although it may appear unlikely at the moment, China's high-speed rail has been growing like a dragon over the past 10 years. Before we go on, subscribe to Chet Project to watch about other amazing projects you didn't know about. Ready? Let's begin. Beyond the miles means beyond the nation, in the sense that it is beyond distance. It certainly is a possibility. The construction of an underwater high-speed rail system will be the most expensive and ambitious railroad project ever. China originally proposed the idea of a high-speed rail line between Beijing and Shanghai in 2008. Rapid transport. Undoubtedly, this is a difficult undertaking that necessitates a plethora of technical knowledge in subsea high-speed rail. Even countries with early high-speed rail development and reasonably mature technology, like Japan, the United States, Germany, and others, are afraid to take on this project since the underwater tunnel will be the most expensive and challenging part of it. China decided to create high-speed rail after 2008 because they believed that creating roads was the first step to achieving financial prosperity. The Shinkansen, Japan's first high-speed rail line, was introduced about 30 years ago. Despite a slow start, China's high-speed rail network has caught up to Japan's in terms of complexity. China even engaged in a war with Germany and Japan to get the right to build high-speed rail networks in more than a dozen countries, including Indonesia, Russia, Africa, and Saudi Arabia. The first high-speed rail in China has a peak speed of 160 kilometers/a. 2012 saw the start of service on the longest high-speed rail route in the world. The high-speed railway between Beijing and Guangzhou reduced the travel time between the two cities by 8 hours. China has been attempting to link its high-speed rail network to all cities ever since. First-tier cities also have 3 or more high-speed rail stations. Then, how does China surpass Europe, Indian, American, and Japanese? Well, ultimately, money is what matters. High-speed rail typically costs at least $15 million per kilometer. Comparatively speaking to Europe, China has completed 40,000 kilometers, while another 35,000 are still being constructed. High-speed rail construction is significantly more expensive than China, with an average cost of 39 million sim and the highest cost. A high-speed rail line in California can be built for just 56 million kilometers. China is a desirable location for business despite the country's varied landscape, which includes plateaus, deserts, and gorges. This is because of China's low regulatory costs and inexpensive labor. The price is a considerable fraction of what it would be in Europe, and the bullet train's top speeds have continuously climbed from 160 kilometers/at to 350 kilometers/at at the moment. The high-speed rail network, which can go up to 650 kilometers per hour, has been effectively constructed. They returned their focus to their main objective, which was to construct a high-speed railway connection to Taiwan. After finishing all of the high-speed rail lines on land, they completed this and then went back to their original goal. The dream was just a daydream until it became a reality. The first prerequisite is to have a thorough grasp of engineering, technology, and bridges over water. There isn't a single instance of a successful undersea high-speed rail project in another country. The longest tunnel in the world, with a tunnel under the sea, was finished in Japan in 1988. This amazing engineering achievement occurred in Japan. While the cost for 33 kilometers was just $70 overall, the price for each kilometer was $350 million. Let's assume that the distance between Beijing, China, and Taiwan is 2131 kilometers and that it is 2,000 kilometers from Beijing to Fujian. The structure will cost about $3 billion to build. The distance between Taiwan and Fujian is 131 kilometers. The Hong Kong-Macao bridge alone cost $33 billion to build. The bridge is 110 kilometers long and has a 20-kilometer tunnel within. The underwater tube will cost $7 billion, according to Japanese pricing standards. The project's overall cost from China to Taiwan will be at least $50 billion in US dollars at the current exchange rate. China will have to spend at least 350 billion yuan on this project, and the cost might increase. Even if they have ample money and need a solid core infrastructure, China must begin building bridges in order to gather experience. The most well-known Hong Kong-Macao bridge is the world's longest sea-crossing bridge. The most challenging bridges are among them. Make a plan for building a tunnel under the sea. After accomplishing this amazing achievement, they went on to work on tasks in other cities, such building bridges and undersea tunnels. Chinese people. In China, there are high-speed railroads that travel the whole country and subterranean metro systems that link the cities together. Between Beijing and Fujian, a high-speed rail link of 2,000 kilometers has already been completed. Additionally, they have constructed across the bridge in Fujian in accordance with the original railway design. There are 3 possibilities available, one of which being a direct high-speed rail route that has been reserved to Taiwan. They invested a significant amount of time, energy, and money into learning subsea engineering in depth. Taiwanese officials, on the other hand, feel that mainland China is unable to execute the plan at that time because Taiwan did not fully recognize the growth of the mainland. This is a result of Taiwan's incomplete understanding of the development of the mainland. Taiwan took 40 years to electrify its trains, despite the fact that it thought its expansion was accelerating. The high-speed train, which takes just 17 minutes to go from Taipei to the island, took 11 years to create. Since Taiwan's infrastructure must be finished before the high-speed rail link to Taiwan can be built, many individuals who are familiar with the construction of high-speed rail on the mainland are worried about it. With the aid of 1,500 employees, China was able to extend the high-speed rail station in Fujian in less than 9 hours. There will be more high-speed rail lines built in this area. Despite the fact that China and the United States ties have improved, the project continues to face significant challenges. There would be several insurmountable challenges to overcome during building of the Cross, a high-speed rail project that would connect Taiwan Strait and Fujian. The location of the facility in a typhoon-prone area and the complexity of construction and maintenance are the biggest obstacles. The geology and climate of the Taiwan Strait present unusually tough obstacles for the construction of a bridge to cross the strait, in addition to the 55 kilometers world's longest sea-crossing bridge. The cross bridge has to be considered in order to allow for the passage of massive cargo ships weighing 10,000 tons or more, because there used to be a route between Fujian, China, and Taiwan. Furthermore, Taiwan is situated in an earthquake-prone region. Throughout the building process, earthquake-resistant standards must be followed. There is also the issue of the ocean's natural habitat. It will be difficult to complete this subsea project because of the substantial risk involved, which will affect the local ecology regardless of its size. It will also increase the overall expense of this large operation. As a result, it is impossible to say with any degree of certainty when this enormous project will be completed. Write in comments what do you think about this railway. Also, click on this video to watch about another shocking project.